Hi, this is Tanja Meyer from Biobase Europe Pilot Plant in Belgium, Ghent, which is the coordinating facility for the Glaukos project. And I'm happy to be here today in your masterclass and presenting the project. So Glaukos is an international project funded by the European Commission and the bio-based industries joint undertaking that invests 4.1 million euro in a 4-year project to drastically diminish ocean plastic pollution. Now, actually a trivia question for you in the beginning. What or who is Glaukos? So Glaukos is actually the Greek sea god of fishermen. He was commonly believed to protect the ocean. And this is also exactly the ambition of this project. So Glaukos project had started its activities last year in June and is developing innovative alternatives for textiles to reduce the carbon and plastic footprint. Glaukos envisaged 2 application areas, the clothing and the fishing gear industry. The consortium consists of 14 partners, including industry partners from the clothing and fishing gear industry as producers for the fiber production, scale-up, prototyping, and plastic architecture facilities, research facilities, LCA partners, and stakeholder associations. This consortium covers the whole value chain, from turning the waste stream into building block and the building block into polymers and yarn. And it also checks the end-of-life solutions. Relevant stakeholders are already on board, such as the European Association of Rope, Twine and Netting Manufacturers, Eurocode, and the Association of the German Sporting Goods Industry, BSI. Eurocode is the only European cluster for the fishing gear industry. And in addition, one of their members, Van Belen Group, is also partner in Glaukos. BSI members include large enterprises such as Adidas and Puma, but also small and medium enterprises such as Faude. From a technical point of view, Glaukos will mitigate microplastic pollution by increasing the biodegradation rate of materials compared to conventional microplastics. Glaukos will also enhance material sustainability performance, such as technical performance and durability, to ensure the effective and long-term use of the textile products. Glaukos will also boost the biorecycling potential by developing compatible recycling biocatalysts. And it will also develop eco-friendly textile products with increased bio-based content. So all in all, Glaukos really aims to redesign the life cycle of clothing and the fishing gear industry. From a non-technical point of view, Glaukos will engage stakeholders across the textile industry to match this technical performance to the end user requirements. How are we going to do that? So first of all, by setting up a stakeholder lab to facilitate the interaction between users, partners and relevant stakeholders in relation to the end user requirements and also the policy. Also by communicating with the broader public as well as specific thematic communities. And Glaukos will also enhance the framework for sustainable innovation in the textile industry. Especially important is the transfer of the stakeholder lab outcomes into actionable knowledge to inform the different stakeholders about the activities that are going on within the Glaukos project. So we really, within the Glaukos project, need to ensure that the stakeholder labs effectively provide the necessary contributions for the different Glaukos activities. So the first step was actually to involve all the different partners in an exercise to identify what type of information provided by these stakeholders might then feed back the different activities and form the task of the project. In the following, I will share with you some of the identified challenges. So there's first one, feedstock related challenges. So are there actually any requirements on the substrate for building block production? What is the relevance of bio-based versus oil-based? What about a green bonus? Secondly, the technical scientific challenges for polymer development. Thirdly, utility performance challenges. What is about information on required properties? Let's say performance versus biodegradation. A fourth challenge: certification and standard related challenges. Which standard actually comply with the different research activities and which one are needed to comply with. Also to clarify what certification and legislation of biodegradability of fibers need to take into account over, let's say, more than 1 year, but then actually less than 5 years. Also to involve standardization bodies such as SEN. A fifth challenge is the sustainability, eco-design, LCA, and end-of-life challenges. So what are the requirements for the validation on end-of-life solutions? How to reconcile the performance and end-of-life, let's say the biodegradability. And what about the know-how of the end-of-life practices? Is this going to be followed by other actors? Which indicators do we need to use to measure sustainability and circularity? And the last challenge is about market exploitation and communication. So how to actually communicate or address these hot questions, these hot potato questions. Let's say biodegradability versus recycling again. So Glaukos really should facilitate the exchange of good practices and advice on effective communication on these ones. So with whom else should we actually get in touch with? And also for later on how to best exploit the Glaukos technical results. So far, we've been in contact with, let's say over 200 stakeholders in general, and we are in more active contact with the 70 of them because they are actually participated in our first stakeholder lab workshop. And I would like to say a couple of words about this workshop. So it took place beginning of March, originally foreseen, of course, in person, but this time online. So we managed to have 2 parallel discussions on the clothing and fishing gear. And the main topic was, biopolymers eco-design to address sustainability challenges for the ocean's protection. So as I said, 70 participants were present, and they were involving the representatives of the credible helix structure. So we actually had participants, over 50% participants coming from a business area, but also with a 1/3 researchers and people from academia were present. And the rest was, let's say, on civil society and policymakers. So there will be a public deliverable written on this, which will be published in May. And it will contain the analysis and the recommendations for Glaukos activities. The integration actually with the stakeholders are very crucial for this project, as I explained before. So there will be a lot of future activities going on. The first one is that there will be also, let's say, a semi-public report that will only be sent to the workshop participants, but also to actively interested stakeholders. There will be some following up interviews and individual meetings taking place in May and June, because we actually want to have more detailed information on the outcomes. And as you can imagine, it was not possible to go too much in detail on the discussion level with several individuals when you have to hold an online workshop with 70 participants. So we are really going to follow up on individual cases. Glaukos will also follow up on other projects and similar initiatives, and also, of course, more relevant stakeholders are welcome and can still join the stakeholder lab. In the second and third year, there are more workshops planned where we want to invite all the stakeholders to come together and provide them a discussion forum. And of course, Glaukos is also actively checking if we can find interactive sessions in different types of events that we can co-organize. So it's still possible to become a stakeholder. So if you're now curious about the different activities within Glaukos, then please stay connected with us in the different channels and follow the Glaukos activities, for example, on the website, but also on Twitter and LinkedIn. And as I said before, there's a format on the website and you can leave your contact details so that you can also become a stakeholder in the Glaukos project. Again, in a nutshell, Glaukos will develop eco-designed fishing gear and clothing and scale up its production process. Let's say all the way from renewable feedstock to textile prototype and ending with 2 end-of-life solutions, biodegradation and biorecycling. So that is for my side and the Glaukos side, and I'm here for any question you might have. Thank you.